So let's fly over the Umfolozi TVET College campuses located in the old historical Zululand, and we're going to do it by flying over the Drakensberg and to the spectacular Tugela River, because it forms a major boundary of where we're going. So let's start with Montesources and the Tugela Falls, one of the highest falls in the world, and let's do a jump. And off we go, and down we go into the falls, and initially the water really rushes down super fast, and then there's all sorts of dams as you're going down. So you've got Woodstock and you've got Spierenkop Dam, and then we slowly start to slow down as the river starts to meander, and we start to get to Nkandla and Tugela Ferry, and then what you'll see is that the Tugela River splits off to your right, and to your left we have the Mhlatuzi River, and that's going to take us to our first campus. Now, if the Tugela Falls is one of the world's highest waterfalls, over here with Richards Bay we've got the deepest natural harbour in the southern hemisphere. Now, Richards Bay is the largest port in terms of volume handled with coal. It's got rail links which run to Durban, to Swaziland, all the way up through Mpumalanga, and later on you'll find all the way through to Botswana and the Congo. And so coal and other minerals from all these areas across southern Africa come pouring down over here, making this one of the biggest export terminals in the southern hemisphere. Now, the Richtech campus has all sorts of things going on. So it's got a business studies section, and then it's got an engineering section. More importantly, it's actually got a center of specialization for millwright and riggers. That's when you basically assemble and disassemble machines, and then you use pulleys to carry them along. It also has a technical training center where you can actually get accreditation for the skills that you're looking for. So it's a highly functioning and effective campus. And if we go a little bit south, just past Richards Bay, we get the Esikawini Campus. And it's a huge and impressive campus. It's got a business studies zone as well. It's also got all sorts of engineering programs going. It's got a skills center where you've got a whole lot of apprentices doing plumbing and bricklaying and carpentry. But what I want you to look out for is that swimming pool right in the far corner of it, because that's where the students can practice their diving. And that's a part of a new qualification called Maritime Studies, which has got nautical science and marine engineering, and you learn all about the ocean economy and navigation and boat building, a new and innovative qualification. So we're lifting out of the Esikawini campus, and we're going to travel to Nkandla, and I've tried to choose a route which takes us through all the classical heartlands of what Zululand's like. So you've got the wet coastal zones with the wetlands, then you've got the savannas with the grasslands with the extensive forests, and from those forests you've got the rivers which have come charging all the way down from the Drakensberg, and at this stage are starting to slow down because they've hit the coastal plains. And then you've got these beautiful mountainous regions, often fairly flat top mountains in which people have lived for thousands of years. And nestling deep within these mountains is the town of Nkandla, the place of resting where Shaka rested on his journey back, and where Zuma's currently resting or kind of nearby down the road from here. And it's in Nkandla that we have a new TVET College campus that's been built, finished around about 2017. It's called Nkandla A, because I think there's going to be a B and a C. And it's a beautifully built campus. And what you can do over there is some of the basic engineering programs for the NCV. So you can do civil engineering and electrical engineering over there. But it's also a primary agricultural campus. So it's over here that you can do soil science and plant production and animal production, and learn a little bit about agribusiness. Although my own sense is that there should be a stronger focus on subsistence farming and how to do it properly. So let's pull out of Nkandla and let's get a sense of the full glory of the old Zululand area. Now, the boundaries were always incredibly fluid. They shifted and they changed depending on who was dominant or not. But often boundaries tend to form along rivers. And two of the key rivers that you can see in front of you is on the one side running from left to right is the Buffalo River. And then running in front of you is the Tugela River, which really formed one of the most powerful boundary lines between the old colony of Natal on your southern side and then Zululand on your northern side. So this Tugela River has always been of great historical and cultural significance, and I really just wanted to take a line in which we just enjoy the beauty of how it flows all the way down from the Drakensberg, the startling one rushing down and then getting slower and slower and starting to meander through to the coastal plains, and increasingly you'll see the forests and the sugarcane plantations in the area we're traveling to. Now, this is also a zone where there were great historical battles between all sorts of groupings. The Ndwandwe were defeated over here and had to rush off northwards. You also had one of the greatest battles between Ketshwayo at one stage and Mbayazi on the other side, which was the fight for the kingship of the Zulu, the Battle of Ndonda Kusuka. 20,000 people killed, including when Ketshwayo won. He killed all of Mpanda's other sons. That was in 1856, and he really only took over in 1873 once Mpanda died. And nestling on the banks of the Great Tugela River, just before the mouth, is the Mandini Campus. Now, it's an accredited trade test center on the one side. It also is the center of specialization, the millwright and rigger qualification, which you also have at Rich Tech. You can also do the NCV in electrical engineering. You can do engineering and related design in terms of automotive repair, welding and fitting and machining and turning. And if we go a little bit inland, we get the Sandambili Training Center, Skills Center. But what I want you to look out for initially is the Tugela Sapi Mill. Now that's really where they take wood pulp and they make paper and cardboard products. But it also used to have this unwanted byproduct called lignosulfonate, which they just used to throw away. But it now turns out to be something very useful for making stronger concrete and all sorts of other things. This Sandambili Training Center does all sorts of things like bricklaying and plastering and carpentry. You can do community house building, and it's got a big garment making side where you can also do things like clothing production and panel beating and plumbing. So it's an effective skills center. And if you keep on going a little bit further inland even more, you get to the Isitebe campus, which is also really like a skills campus. So you don't do too many programs there. You can do business management on the one side. It's got a strong clothing and production focus. And you can also do end-use computing over here. Now, this campus is located in the Isitebe Industrial Park. This was initially set up by old Buthelezi in the early 1980s, when this was still kind of like an independent homeland. And basically it was quite successful. A couple of industries came here and it created some work for the locals. It fell into terrible disrepair, and what's happened is recently the government has reinvested in the area. So companies like Whirlpool and Nampak have invested, bringing a whole new lease of life to the area. And now we're traveling down the east coast towards the Chief Albert Luthuli campus. Now that's located in Graatville, right by KwaDukuza, and all of those terms and names are of such enormous historical significance. So we have Chief Albert Luthuli, the Nobel Peace Prize winner, the President General of the ANC, a great teacher who lived and died in this area. and after whom this campus was named. And it's a multi-purpose campus, so you can do computer end using, there's plumbing and welding, and you can do business studies and financial management and IT and computer studies and all those kinds of programs over there. And if you look carefully, you can see the railway line, which is running all the way from Richards Bay down to Durban, which collects all the wood and all the sugar to ferry it all the way around South Africa. And now we've turned around and we're kind of doubling back again towards Richards Bay, going towards Eshawi. We've gone over KwaDukuza, the royal residence of Shaka, and we're traveling over all the sugar plantations, all the forestry plantations, and up the hills towards the old colonial capital of Zululand. It got burnt down by the Zulus once they had a chance. And it's over here that you've got the Esikawini Campus, which really offers a combination of electrical engineering subjects on the one side. You can do hospitality over here on the other, but really it also offers primary agriculture and then farming management. And on top of those things, you can also do the business studies suite of qualifications. Now, all the Umfolozi campuses which we visited so far have tended to be in a southerly direction, going down the east coast away from Richards Bay. But actually, there's one campus called Bambanana Campus. I've left it for last because it's been the most recent campus. It's just been built. And that's right on the other side. If you had to go up the coastline towards Mozambique, you'd get the Lebombo Mountains, and you'd get the Great Makatini Flats and the St. Lucia wetlands. And in that area, a new campus has been built. And it is currently only offering 3 programs. So you can do farming management, you can do public management, and you can do human resources. All of those are the NATED N programs. And I think it's over here. I haven't been able to establish it for sure, but that seems to be the only new development that's been built in this area. So Umfolozi TVET College has had the privilege of 2 new campuses being built in Nkandla and Bambanana. But I want to finish off the story of this TVET college by linking it not just to this historical area of Zululand, but showing how it's got a huge scope and reach, which stretches all the way through into Africa. And to get a sense of that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a radical pullback for you. And I want you to take a look at Mozambique on the one side. You can see the old Lorenzo Marques, Delagoa Bay, Maputo there. And what's happened is there's a set of railway lines which stitch all the huge coal reserves going from Ermelo in Mpumalanga to Lephalale in the Limpopo region, and then pulling all the way out, going towards Botswana and then into Zambia and up into the Congo. And central to these railway lines transporting all these huge reserves through Africa is this one bridge that's been currently built over one of Africa's greatest rivers, the Zambezi River. Now, the Kazungula Bridge is exactly at the point where you've got Zambia, you've got Botswana, you've got Namibia, all joining at the point and needing this bridge and the railway line that it enables to get goods and minerals and ore and all sorts of produce across into South Africa, and then on the railway lines down through Limpopo, through Mpumalanga, and down to Richards Bay and to Durban, from where it can be exported to across the world. So this bridge over here, over the astonishing Zambezi River, is the end point of what I would like to talk about when we have the Umfolozi TVET College with its main base in Richards Bay, located in Zululand, actually linking up with the whole rest of Southern Africa and the world.